I have a vision, and I don't know if you share this vision with me, but I want a world where my children are treated with respect, where we raise children who are emotionally healthy, where we have the resources and the support to help us as parents be emotionally healthy. And there is a village to help us all from the time that we're babies until old age. Most of us didn't grow up with that, and most of us don't really know how to do it. We're hazy on how to create healthy boundaries. We don't want to fly off the handle and be too punitive, but we may end up on the other side of things and not set any boundaries at all, which doesn't feel good either. We don't really understand what our children's behavior means, and we certainly don't know what to do about it other than what our parents did or what we see other parents doing around us. But it either doesn't work or it feels awful. We like the idea of attachment and creating healthy relationships that meets the real needs of our kids, but we have our own attachment wounding that we may need to heal. We have our own stories that are coming up that need integrating. We want a place where we can find our own way to connect with our kids and in our families, but so many people are judgmental, especially when it comes to parenting. We all love the idea of our own story and making sense of it, but aren't really sure how to go about that. And our kids have a story too, but how do we work with that? How do we help to create the healing stories our children need to heal? The idea of regulation or learning to calm is also a good one that we'd like to be able to help our kids to learn, but we may not really know how to do that ourselves. We may really not know how to parent with regulation in mind, or even regulate ourselves after we've been upset, since no one really understood that when we were growing up. My name is Rebecca Thompson Hitt, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Consciously Parenting Project. I've been working with parents for over 25 years in many different capacities. To do the math and figure out how long it's been now. And I've had the opportunity to work with families around the world with lots and lots of different situations. And I've learned a lot about what it really takes to raise emotionally healthy families. And I have been asked repeatedly to create a training program. And so this is what you're listening to. I want to share with you a little bit about the training program. I'm really excited. I just actually finished my third training program. I have a new set of graduates that you're going to be seeing shortly as they find their way out into the world and share the knowledge and wisdom that they've gained from this process. We need lots and lots of people who understand how to work from the inside out. And the training program gives you an opportunity to do your own work. Honestly, whether you are a parent or not. The idea is that even if you are not a parent, you were once a child. And all of the things that we're talking about connect with that early story in your own history and how that story, the story in your body, not just the story that you cognitively remember, we have to figure out how to work with that, because that's what shows up in our life. That's where we get stuck with our boundaries. That's where we get stuck having healthy relationships or unhealthy relationships. That's where we get stuck in creating those for ourselves. And I'm so excited. I just finished this last training group, and I am so inspired by the work that they have done over this 2 years. So you may be saying, Rebecca, why is it 2 years? That's a long time, Rebecca. Yes, but this work is not a quick, weekend course. This is deep work that you are doing. And if you want to do this kind of work and show up for yourself in a deep way, really, really get to know yourself, it is from there that you can help others, whether that is, people in your family and parenting, or whether you are a professional and you're working with people in whatever capacity you are. If you are wanting to help others, understanding yourself in this deep way makes all the difference for you moving out into the world, because you fundamentally shift the way that you look at the world. And that's what I heard from my trainees as they were just completing this training round. So I have created an opportunity for parents and professionals to learn with me over a period of 2 years. This experience is for those who want to really deepen their own family relationships while connecting deeply with other families on a similar journey. We'll be exploring and learning together. It is very much an experiential training. It is not here, memorize these things. It's really, you're going to have an experience of these things. So we'll be exploring and learning together, supporting each other to understand ourselves and each of our family members better so that we can connect in new ways. And if you are a professional, that work then informs your client work. This experience will also support those who would like to provide a layer of support in their own communities, either as a professional or as a helping parent. Participants will be certified in each module to teach the materials in their communities, and those who complete the entire 2-year training will be certified holistic family consultants and educators, and will be added to our list of resources for families for your community on the Consciously Parenting website. So the training will be broken down into 4 6-month modules starting September 2021. So it is a virtual training. We meet only online. I did that before COVID happened and before everything got crazy. So this training is actually formatted from the beginning, and this is the 3rd time that I'm doing it in its full complete format. I had a beta group even before that. So it's virtual. You can do it from anywhere in the world. It does not require travel, which, as I'm watching what's happening in the world, this is a very, very good thing. So it's a combination of online modules that you'll be able to access with audios to listen to, experiential practice through a video chat room, Zoom, now that you all know what Zoom is, connections twice per month for your individual group to deepen your skills and connect with each other, and a private online forum where you can ask questions, explore your own story, and practice supporting others. So the time commitment is about 6 hours per month, and it is meant to be sustainable over the 2 years. So it is not now I have to do all of this, although some people with their sequencing patterns, which we'll learn about in the training, wait until there's an impulse at the end, but it's not designed that way. It's designed to take little bits at a time, learning as you go, and you get to watch each other learn and grow in this process. And that, I think, is one of the most amazing parts of the whole thing. I watch people come in, and then I watch as they work on whatever their things are. Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own experiences. And somehow, and I was talking to my training group about this last week, somehow everybody seems to get exactly what they need for their growth in this process. So it's pretty amazing. I'm really, really excited to be able to share this with you. So content is released at the beginning of each month, and there are short videos that you can watch. Most of the time it's about 10 minutes long. Every once in a while I have a longer video for you to watch, but you can watch, listen, or read on your own time. And then we schedule healing story circle calls. And if you don't know what a healing story circle is, I would highly recommend that you attend one of our community calls. Those are free. The training does have a prerequisite of healing story circle attendance, and it's one with me that we'll be setting up at the beginning of September. I want to let you experience it because it is a big, big part of the training. And if you haven't experienced it yet, you need to experience it to make sure that this modality of training will work for you before you make the commitment. I made the mistake a couple of trainings ago, not having that be a requirement, having a lot of people who'd never done a healing story circle before, and people got in and went, oh my gosh, all my stuff is coming up. Yes, by design. And so I want you to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into and what your issues are around it that may come up and make it easier or harder for you to have a small, intimate group. we do a lot to create safety in those healing story circles, and you learn how to really give and receive support in ways that are healthy, that have boundaries, that all of the concepts that we're talking about throughout the training, we are having an experience of once a month in your own healing story circle. And then you can attend the others as a listener to also learn from other groups and practice your reflective listening skills. So the first module will be September 2021, and it will end February of 2022. And that is based on my first book, Consciously Parenting: What It Really Takes to Raise Emotionally Healthy Families. Now, again, I mentioned you don't have to be a parent to do this training, because you were once a child. And if you can integrate your own understanding of your story of growing up and what was there, what wasn't, what you needed, what needs were met, understanding that is the core foundation of the training. And everything else is built on this. So this is the science of parenting and connected and disconnected relationships. We shift from a focus on behavior, which most of us grew up with, to a focus on the relationship and what that means. So you'll begin healing story circles during this module. And that's the main healing modality that we're going to be using throughout the training to really deepen into these core ideas that we're discussing in our work. You can bring your own material into these healing story circles. Anything that's coming up for you, whether it's related to the material or not, life is welcome in this training, because, oh my gosh, and especially with COVID in the last training, it was just amazing that we were able to support each other as everything went into lockdown. All of our issues were coming up. And so what a perfect place to have online, this place where we could come and connect with each other. We don't know what's going to happen next. We're all holding on for this ride, right? But you'll have layers of support accessible anywhere you have an internet connection. And certainly we have had people join from some interesting places. So the second module, which will begin in March of 2022. Yeah, need to fix that. And that's based on my second book, which is Creating Connection. And that's about early experiences and their impact on later life. This is the pre and perinatal psychology module, and it's all about understanding the somatic imprint of our story, and at least getting a basic idea of the impact of our early experiences from our implicit somatic memory. So what we experienced in our body that we don't consciously remember, we don't have words for it. It is before we were able to speak, but the way that we came into the world from preconception, even stories that happened before conception, through pregnancy and birth, and how that still shows up now. We start with ourselves, understanding those patterns, understanding our story, and then we listen to the story of others. And so you have this really cool window to understand this in a really deep, practical, in the moment way. And then that is also a foundation for the later modules as well. So yeah, this is about nervous system. This is about somatic stories. And if you have kids, then we also look at the stories of your kids, and you can bring those to healing story circles. So in the first module, we practice learning healing story circles. The second one, we have really rich content that each of us bring to understand and unpack our story a little bit more deeply. Module 3, which I always think of as, okay, we have a little rest, but it is, what I keep seeing is that's not what happens at all. It's about nurturing connection, which is connecting through everyday experiences and life, healing yourself and your family every day. And it's really about feelings and boundaries. And so while we spend the first module of looking at my 8 guiding principles, and a lot of them are attachment and boundaries, and these concepts, feelings, and what that has to do with attachment. In the third module, we really deepen into those concepts, into those ideas. And by this time, everybody is really well versed in healing story circles. They know how to do it. You're really connected with each other as groups. And there's a whole piece that we really, really deepen into in module 3. And that will be September of 2022 until February of 2023. And it's interesting now to think, as much as we didn't know going into this last training group what was going to happen, I just have this sense that we also don't know what's going to happen. But yet, what an amazing time to be doing this work, because it is so needed. It is so needed right now. Then in March of 2023 until August of 2023, we will be doing our 4th module, which is my 4th book, which is entitled It's Never Too Late to Heal, Transforming the Stories of Our Lives. That will hopefully be published at the end of this year. I am working on it right now. So this is based on my 4th book, which will be published soon. And it follows what I call the arc of healing. And so we explore all facets. So we've spent the first module, foundation, the second module, pre and perinatal foundation, the third module, feelings and boundaries. And then the 4th module combines all of that information and looks at, okay, how do we help someone to heal? Whether it's ourselves and we've got something that we're stuck, or how do we support someone else to heal? So we look at all different kinds of relationships, starting with your relationship with yourself, and then with your partner, if you have one, and then if you're with your child, if you have one, healing relationships outside of your inner circle, so extended family, friends, and really what healing looks like. And so we'll also look at challenging children and just the faces of what healing actually looks like in real life. It is a time of deep healing and transformation during this module, personally and professionally, as the content really has built up to culminate here with everything that we've learned together. So when you sign up for this program, when you sign up for this program, you are engaging in a special process to deepen your own understanding of yourself, your family, and other families in your community. Everything builds on itself as you go. It really deepens into the concepts that we're talking about. And because that is the case, we need you to commit to the entire program, the entire 2 years. Yes, I understand life happens. Very, very occasionally, something comes up that's so big that someone can't continue. But we want to keep that to an absolute minimum and to emergencies. I really want you to be committing to yourself to do this deep work, and to the group that you are part of. So we've tried to make it doable and affordable. And that's why a lot of it is designed as self-study, with opportunities to connect with others in the program as much as you'd like. Because not only do you have healing story circles that are part of the training, and there will be 4 training groups, but also there are member healing story circles and other community projects and events that you can take part in as well to deepen your understanding. You could go to a healing story circle a couple times a week if you want to. There's lots of opportunities. Let's see. You also have access to the full library of consciously parenting resources. And we're working on a teaching guide. So you'll also receive discounts on bulk purchases of materials, including books, along with other fun ideas that we're coming up with, so that you can share with your individual communities around the world. This has been a very international training. We've had people in Slovenia and India and South Africa and Brazil and Canada and the United States, all across the US. But typically on a call, I'll have maybe one person I'll have like 5 people, and they'll all be in different time zones. So we also set up the calls based on the group conversations of availability. So we try really hard to make it work. There will be calls that are not the middle of the night where you live, and we'll try our best to accommodate your time zones to make that happen. Let's see. Yeah, so I have a list of frequently asked questions that you can read on the bottom of the page where you're watching this video. So let me know if you have additional questions that I'm not addressing. The payment, the financial commitment is $150 per month for 24 months. And if you are in a developing country and you need a scholarship, please let me know that. I will be offering a limited number of scholarships for people who are living in countries that that's a lot of money. So yeah, so let me know if you need more information on that. I am really excited about this opportunity to deepen your understanding of yourself, your family, and other people in your community, and to provide layers of support for the world that is so in need right now. My vision of having children grow up in emotionally healthy environments starts with us making the commitment to provide support at whatever level you feel called to do so. My graduates are going to be, you're going to be seeing them all pretty soon. They're all going to be taking on different projects within Consciously Parenting. Many of them, some of them are choosing not to, but it's that kind of working together that I'm really wanting to foster. So you come out of the 2 years with many new friends all over the globe and new colleagues to support you on your journey. So let me know if you have questions. We are opening registration and application. You need to apply because we have limited spaces. And so send in your application. Let me meet with you and sign up for a Healing Story Circle if you haven't already met that requirement, and hope to see you in the training in September. Take good care.